The following is brought to you in part by System Blue. Products and education. System Blue.
We're in Seaside, Oregon today. 4th of July, Independence Day. Woo! Yeah, and we got a free day. We're gonna go watch Cars 3.
Well, I paid $8 to go to sleep and drink half a soda.
How do they touch things with tires? It doesn't make sense.
I just have so many questions. It just doesn't, it can't exist. It doesn't work. I've ran through every scenario.
Blue Devils are going to have a block with the Oregon Crusaders where we're going to be out on the beach and watching the fireworks tonight.
Craziest thing. This is Zach Solomon from the Oregon Crusaders.
Hi.
We went to middle school together.
Yeah, dude.
And we just happened to meet each other right now.
In the middle of Oregon.
On our 4th of July, 2017.
Small world.
Again. Small world, man.
Drum Corps family.
DCI, man. I'm telling you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Corps on the field, the conquered Blue Devils.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Creating accuracy of movement and equipment manipulation is a task unique to the color guard. And to accomplish this, defining the space we live and move in is one of the key elements to this process. The process that has been used for many years by the Blue Devils is an adaptation of a classic dance system known as 27 points.
So 27 points in space was an exercise created by Rudolf Laban. He used it to help dancers analyze movement and understand their bodies and where their body was moving in the space around them.
He used it to help train people to create shapes in these big ceremonies, but we use it, mostly we talk about it with flags, but we can use it with everything.
You want to think that you're in a box, kind of like a telephone booth or something. And you want to start at that top left corner, and that's your point 1. Then we go down from there, 2 in the middle, and then 3 down. And that repeats in the front for 4, 5, 6, and etc., etc. Once you get to 24 at your bottom left, then you actually go straight up for 25, straight down for 26, and then right in the middle for 27.
Our version of 27 points incorporates our flag and our body, and we pass through 27 different points in space around our body with our flagpole by squeezing and contracting all of our muscles within our body, and then loosening our muscles very quickly and then contracting again.
And switch, connect, forward, and 1 and 2, and now tight full time. So the contrast is what makes the silk react and show us the strength at the stop by letting your muscles relax to go, to move, and then tighten to stop. Everybody got it?
So the purpose of the exercise is to help our bodies understand exactly where these points are so that when we take it into our cleaning process, it's a lot easier for us to understand where our specific checkpoints are supposed to be.
We can say things like count 4 goes through point 4, and then the members will process that really quickly once they know the points, and they can say, oh, okay, I got it. This is what 4 is, instead of maybe that. So with few words, we're able to make corrections, and we can be in the stands and convey information without having to demonstrate it necessarily, and they can mentally manage space and, you know, clean things. We can train and clean using it. Another place we're having issues with space is the press 1 and 2 and 3 and the level change that will go around. We make that loop to 4 and then descend. You can't just think circles. You have to know those 27 point pathways so that we get the same amount of color from everybody's silk. So we have kind of a shortcut of understanding space and language to really, really quickly get everybody to look the same.
The orchestral interlude Flight of the Bumblebee, composed by Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, is the second half of this year's opener. A fanciful, thrilling production that is delighting audiences, Flight of the Bumblebee is also a circus-like experience that is challenging members to some of their highest levels of performance responsibilities.
So after the first half of our opener, we transition into a very frantic feeling, much quicker tempo. Horn line and basically the entire corps just spreads out across the whole field, clumps into some pods, and the battery actually, the snare line plays a feature.
We all end up at the 2 staircases, and basically half the snare line goes up one side and the other half goes up the other. All eyes are on us at that part, and it's extremely exposed. Obviously, the person sitting at the bottom is going to be hearing something completely different than the guy who's at the top. We have to be blending with each other, but it's hard to listen in that aspect. So everybody just has to be confident with their part and how they're playing it.
And then I play a solo introducing the Bumblebee theme, and it basically moves throughout the field.
Yeah, it goes Chris Gervais' trumpet solo, then that transitions into the mellophones playing our part of the Bumblebee, and then that transitions to the trumpets playing their part, which then goes to the euphoniums who have a double tonguing feature, and back to the high brass who have another double tonguing feature. So the biggest thing when it comes to actually playing this section is we cannot be listening at all to any of the other sections, because if we do, the moment we come in, we're actually already going to be behind. So this is strictly off the drum major's hands, and we have people dudding who are a little bit in front of the hands, anticipating to make sure that we come in just on the top side of the beat. That way you can make sure that we're completely in time, and the handoff from section to section is also in time.
Trumpets, we know the information here. Keep it light, the trunk strokes to be light. We don't need to overplay. This should be at the most mezzo forte. Do you understand that?
When we were presented with the Bumblebee at the beginning of the season, we really were taken aback a little bit because it's going to be a mammoth of a project throughout the whole summer. Probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever done in a drum corps situation. Flight of the Bumblebee is a pretty difficult thing for even just one person to play pretty clean. Getting 76 of us all playing those running 16th note lines is going to be a challenge, I think, throughout the entire season.
We gotta be mindful of that 8th note space, yeah? So the 16th started off great. We started crushing that. We got to the end a little bit quicker than we needed to, yeah? Keep those 16th notes nice and open, stay light.
Be the most relaxed, chill Bumblebee in the world.
all right? Because you have it on your fingers, we just don't have it here yet.
Color guard find our way back up to the front. And it starts out with just about 8 of us. And slowly but surely groups of boys start adding on, and we're doing very fast spins, some of the fastest stuff that I've ever done. There are a lot of around the bodies and behind the back catches and spins over the head. So we aren't just doing the same spin over and over. It's the medley of it itself is difficult.
And then eventually the music starts to die down, and then the whole core goes into this like visual thing, and then that's where we start the quad solo. I'd say the most demanding part about the break is just all the feel changes that happen like so quickly, because you go from like simple kind of 8-note patterns into like a fast triplet pattern, into 9-lets, into flam shots that are really like loud, and into like another 9-lets, into scrapes that are going like at 180 with 6 tuplets at 180. It's just this constant feel change that you have to be aware of coming up.
As the opener goes on, the tempo gets bumped up. The downbeat of the 200 tempo, the pit has a 12-bar, 16-note run at 200.
So what we've come up with in the Bumblebee is sort of an organized chaos. And during the piece, there are so many layers going on. So it kind of takes you all over the place, almost as if you're watching a swarm of bees.
Next week on Inside BD360.
Synth of the Blue Devils definitely is one of the more special positions, at least to me. It makes me feel like I have like a bigger role, you know, in the big picture of things.
We're both playing 2 separate parts that nobody else plays. Like if I miss a sample, I'm toast because I'm the only one that plays that sample. Garrison, nobody else in the corps can fill in that spot.